in the monastery, these monks would walk together. They would walk in single file, and when they hear a chime, they would stop, and they would breathe, and they would be grateful for being alive. And then the rest of their days, they would work. And while they work, they would be grateful for the ability to create with their hands, to be productive, to be physical. And while they eat, these monks would sit in silence. They would chew their food in silence, and they would meditate on what it took to get the food to the table, the hands that made it possible, and more importantly, what they would do with the food, the energy it gives them. And for the rest of the day, they would sit like this. With their eyes closed, they would look inward. As diverse as these monks were, they had one common purpose of being at Shaolin. They all agreed that all the happiness and joy and peace in this world can only be found within their own hearts. And they would spend their days looking inward, calming their emotions, their impulses, until their heart finds peace. And this is how these monks existed for thousands of years, my grandfather told me. China charged to change. Invaders came from all directions. And when they came across these monasteries, they saw these monks, and they were curious, intrigued, how peace-loving these monks were. Curiosity became threatened. They were threatened by how peaceful these monks were. And because they were threatened, they would burn these monasteries down, and one by one, they would destroy these monks. My grandfather told me only 5 young monks remained. And as they were sitting, awaiting their fate, they would close their eyes and smile on their face. Because these monks were peace-loving, they were not afraid. And they were free of anger toward their enemies. And as they're sitting await their fate, right before execution, all 5 monks heard a voice within their hearts. The voice simply said, "Open your eyes and return and live like nature." The first monk opened his eyes. In front of the monastery was an open field. And on this field, this young monk saw a tiger. The tiger was calm. It was still. The young monk studied the tiger. It seemed insignificant. But when prey crossed the tiger's path, the tiger was quite effective. The second monk opened his eyes. In the same field stood a tall tree. And on this tree, a long branch hung out. And on this branch, there was an eagle sitting, waiting. The young monk studied the eagle. Saw how the eagle was insignificant on that branch. And when the wind shook the tree, the eagle went with it. Until the wind got so violent, the eagle let go. But he didn't fall. He flew. The third monk opened his eyes. On the same tree High above was a monkey. The monkey hanging on. The wind would shake the tree, and the monkey went with it. Until the wind got so violent, the monkey simply let go. But he didn't fall. He flew. The fourth monk opened his eyes. Under the tree, low, in the grass, was the snake. The young monk studied the snake, how insignificant, how lowly. But when prey crossed the snake's path, the snake lifted up. And because he was so low, he saw the world unobstructed and attacked. Finally, the fifth monk opened his eyes. Past the field, past the tree, he saw the mountaintop. And high above the mountain, he saw rain coming down. And it hit a tree, and it formed and joined other raindrops. And he studied the water. And the raindrop formed brooks off the trees. And these brooks formed rivers. And these rivers form oceans. The young monk studied the ways of water and saw how a single drop of rain became a waterfall. Five young monks learned the way of nature, defend their way of living, and coexist in the corner of China to this day.